A Central Kentucky man narrowly escapes 7 bullets. Phil Pendleton takes us to the scene of a reported road rage incident coming up. And Donald Trump's defense team is questioning the prosecution's star witness, Michael Cohen, in his hush money trial.
Plus, we are tracking rain, and more rain this week. Your forecast coming up as Mountain News at 5:30 starts now.
Dedicated to Southern and Eastern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News at 5:30.
Good evening, I'm Steve Hensley. A Central Kentucky man is said to be lucky to be alive after being shot at while driving. It happened Sunday night in Harrodsburg in Mercer County. Police say another driver in a suspected road rage incident fired at him. That man was arrested and charged with attempted murder and DUI. WYMT's Phil Pendleton has the story.
One driver was seen firing a gun into another driver's car as both were heading down the roadway in Harrodsburg. Police say it happened Sunday night.
A passerby was coming up on the incident and seeing the incident, and she was the one that called 911.
When police arrived, they say they found Darren Good holding a gun on a victim, and the victim's car was riddled with bullet holes.
The suspect fired several rounds into the victim's car, and then the victim traveled almost a mile to Anderson Dean Park, where the suspect followed him.
All the rounds were fired into the car near the driver's side.
This victim is very lucky. God was watching over him that day.
We came here to the Boyle County Jail to see if Darren Good would like to talk to us, to give us his side of the story, but we were told that he's already made bond. He paid $100,000 cash. He's not to have any contact with the victim, possess alcohol or drugs, or be in possession of any firearm. Police say they are still trying to come up with a motive, but they say the victim told them that Good had shouted racial slurs at him. Good at first told police he was simply returning fire when the victim first fired at him. No gun was found in the victim's car.
It's unclear at this time. We want to say we're leaning towards more road rage, but that really hasn't been determined yet.
Police say they believe a total of 7 rounds hit the car. In Mercer County, Phil Pendleton, WYMT Mountain News.
Good will be in court again on May 23rd when a judge will decide if the case gets sent to a grand jury. At least 8 people are dead and 40 others were hurt when a pickup truck collided with a bus carrying farm workers near Ocala, Florida this morning. The Florida Highway Patrol says the crash happened around 6:35 a.m. when the pickup truck crossed the center line and sideswiped the bus, causing the bus to crash through a fence, hit a tree, and overturn.
We are conducting a massive traffic homicide investigation. We have a full team and then some here on the scene. This will be a very long and lengthy and thorough investigation.
Police say they think the death toll could rise. 53 farm workers were on the bus headed to harvest watermelons on a farm in Dunellen. The driver of the truck has been arrested on charges of driving under the influence.
We are tracking showers and a few thunderstorms on this Tuesday evening. Up on first alert pinpoint Doppler, nothing severe, but a few heavier downpours over parts of the Big Sandy Valley. A thunderstorm not too far away from downtown Pikeville. Also watching out for a heavier shower close to downtown Inez over in Martin County, and some more light to moderate showers pushing into parts of West Virginia at this hour. More showers over parts of southern Kentucky, pushing into parts of Tennessee. Also Virginia from Knox County into Bell County. Also for parts of Leslie and Harlan counties at this hour. Again, nothing severe, but a few heavier downpours cannot be ruled out as we go into this evening. A live look across our region, tracking some overcast conditions, also some wet weather, some wet roads over in downtown Pikeville after a heavier shower not too long ago. And most of us right now in the middle to upper 60s, a few lower 70s as well, up to 73 over in Harlan, 66 for Jackson, 68 over in Estill County for Irvin at this hour. We should be in the middle 70s, so we are well below average because of those clouds, also those showers. And more spotty showers are possible into this evening, also tonight. Not going to rain all night long, but you may see a few showers at times. Also some areas of patchy fog, and lows back in the upper 50s to lower 60s to wake up on Wednesday. And more rain chances are on the way by tomorrow as well. Those details coming up in just a little bit. Steve?
Cameron, thank you. In case you missed it at 4 or have not been on social media today, WYMT's chief forecaster, Brandon Robinson, has announced his retirement. Brandon has been with WYMT for 17 years. Most of that time, he gave you the forecast each weekday morning. Coming up tonight at 6, we will take an in-depth look back at his career and at the station and his very public health battles. Last summer was the hottest in at least 2,000 years. That's according to new research published today in the journal Nature. Scientists looked at weather data and detailed sets of tree rings from thousands of trees across 9 regions of the northern hemisphere. Tree rings provide a climate history for each year of the tree's life, going back centuries or even thousands of years. Scientists warn that this year is on track to be even hotter. With the prosecution's star witness back on the stand again today in Donald Trump's so-called hush money trial, some high-profile allies of the former president came to show their support. CBS's Michael George reports from outside the courthouse in New York.
Former President Donald Trump entered court Tuesday with some high-profile Republican allies, including House Speaker Mike Johnson.
I am disgusted by what is happening here.
Johnson later spoke outside the courthouse, where he attacked the credibility of the prosecution's star witness, Trump's former lawyer and fixer, Michael Cohen.
This is a man who is clearly on a mission for personal revenge and who is widely known as a witness who has trouble with the truth.
Trump's defense team also tried to undermine Cohen, a convicted felon, during cross-examination. Earlier, Cohen testified that payments he received from Trump were reimbursements for the $130,000 he paid adult film star Stormy Daniels to keep quiet ahead of the 2016 election, and not for his legal services. The presumptive GOP presidential nominee insists he did nothing wrong.
So I had a legal expense, and I marked it down as a legal expense.
Trump is facing 34 counts of falsifying business records. Prosecutors say he engaged in election fraud by classifying the reimbursements as legal fees.
You have the 34 documents, but what you have to get is the nexus between falsifying those records, misdemeanors, into an election violation.
In a setback for Trump, an appeals court upheld Judge Juan Merchan's gag order, preventing Trump from talking about witnesses and jurors in the case. Trump has been held in contempt for violating the gag order 10 times and has been threatened with jail for future violations. Michael George, CBS News, New York.
Cohen is the prosecution's last witness and ended his direct testimony by saying he regrets his past work and association with the former president. The DOJ has formally requested Steve Bannon be sent directly to federal prison. This comes after a federal appeals court upheld Bannon's contempt of Congress conviction and his 4-month prison sentence. His jail term had been put on pause while an appeal of his conviction wound through the legal system. Bannon was found guilty by a federal jury on 2 counts of contempt of Congress in July 2022 for defying a subpoena from the House January 6th committee. Prosecutors are asking the judge overseeing the gun case against Hunter Biden to exclude a number of key defense arguments. They include the argument the case against Hunter is politically motivated. A hearing was scheduled to discuss deadlines in the case, set to go on trial on June 3rd. Hunter has raised the issue of facing 2 back-to-back trials. There's the gun case in federal court and a separate tax case against him set for a late June trial. Secretary of State Antony Blinken has made the trek to Eastern Europe. With Blinken's stop in Kyiv, Ukraine, it is the first visit of a Biden administration official since the long-delayed passage of the Ukraine supplemental funding package. According to a senior U.S. official, today's plan was for Blinken to meet with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky and deliver a speech. Blinken will reassure Ukraine of continued U.S. support. Federal officials warn that foreign terrorist organizations and their supporters may target LGBTQ+ events and venues. This alert comes as celebrations and gatherings for June's Pride Month approach. The FBI and Department of Homeland Security are warning of heightened risk for violence, compounded by what they call the current heightened threat in the U.S. and other Western countries. Coming up on Mountain News at 5:30, responsible credit card use can help build your credit, but there are some misconceptions. We debunk the biggest credit card myths.
Plus, rain chances continue through the middle of the week. Those details coming up after this break.